Hood Noob here, word to your mother, talking about It Ends With Us. And hot take that no one else is saying right now is Blake Lively is the villain of this story. Now, before I explain, I will explain to you guys that maybe you should like and subscribe to our channel because we're awesome and we love you guys and we would love it if you support us. Whether you give us shekels or your like and subscribe buttons, either helps, or both. I'm willing to accept dollars for nudes. Another one is, check out Sensibly Cynical's podcast, who is our Blake Lively lover. So I did this video in honor of him. I'm sure he's going to see the movie or has seen it 5 times by now and has touched himself to a multitude of scenes with Blake Lively in her undies. Anyway, so let's get back to It Ends With Us. A romantic drama movie with Blake Lively and some hot dude from Jane the Virgin. He is very hot. That is a positive of this. A negative of this is basically everything else. And I'll get to why she's the villain at the end. But basically, this story is about domestic violence. And, I think Blake Lively is trying to sell it in the media, and it's kind of stupid. And she's like, take your florals and let's go have a girls' date and, it's going to be sweet and fun and stuff. And then the director, who has, I guess it's a sensitive subject for him, he's like, this is a very serious movie. Like, we're not taking this lightly. This is a serious issue. We want to help people in this situation. And they're feuding, I guess. So that, hey, girl, shout out to you for that story. And so Blake Lively looks like a piece of shit in real life. Not only is she the villain of the story, she is just a piece of shit. And I think the only reason she is famous anymore is just because she is Ryan Reynolds' wife. Which makes sense, because Ryan Reynolds is still adorable, unless he's secretly a monster. And then all hope is dead in the world. But, so essentially this, a domestic violence story, and boring as all sin for 2 hours and 10 minutes. The first 3/4 of it is just watching Blake Lively's terrible life. And her terrible wardrobe choices, which apparently she decided on her own. She fought to dress herself, and she dressed herself like an autistic 3-year-old. So it was not great. It's just going through her life and the romance story, and there's some incidences. And I'm watching this movie for 3/4 of it, and I'm like, I swear to Christ, if this is actually the events that are happening and they're calling this domestic violence, I'm gonna hit a bitch. I'm gonna start doing some domestic violence for how dumb this shit is and how woke and terrible it is. And then they have the revelation, and spoiler alert, it's from a different lens, and it was a rose-colored glass of what you were seeing, and here's what actually happened at the very end, and he's a monster. And I guess the one good thing I'll say is that they do kind of paint domestic violence in a weird way. They don't he's the devil kind of thing. It's like a gray area. I guess that's unique. I don't think most movies have done that. At least I don't watch domestic violence movies because that's really not my thing. I just do it. I don't watch it. So, that was kind of cool, I guess, from a storytelling perspective. And, the guy really didn't seem like he was that terrible. He just made a couple of dumb choices, apparently, allegedly. And, he's not chastised at the end. He's still involved and all that stuff. It's weird. The family, that's a real life family. That kid is, the whole precipice of it was that, spoiler alert, they get divorced to save her from the cycle of violence. That kid's fucked up either way with how this story ended. Let's get back to the meat and the potatoes. So Blake Lively is the villain of this story because, first off, this bitch caused it all. She is a lying hussy hoe. And, I'm surprised. First off, you're dating a neurosurgeon. He's bringing in the big bucks, so he's bringing in the big fist. You know what I'm saying? You get a couple of hits a month if you're a neurosurgeon. You just got to deal with that. That's the package you sign up for. Because you're getting that alimony check. So, just deal with it, I guess. Allegedly. But, she could be the villain. Who knows? First off, she said she's an unreliable narrator. So is what we actually saw on her second version of events true? I don't know. Maybe it's not. I'm going to guess it's not, because she a lying hoe. And then also, this dude was upfront about everything. And then there's this second love interest that was her first love and all this stuff that's happening throughout the film. Over and over again. He's like, don't lie to me. Be upfront. I love you. Yada, yada, yada. And then she just keeps lying. So fuck that bitch. She caused all of her problems. She could have just been upfront, not been a lying hoe, and we would have been good. We would have been all squared away, would have been hunky-dory. You would have had all the neurosurgeon babies you could have ever wanted, never worked a day in your life, owned your flower shop, and happily ever after. But no, you're a lying hoe, and you're a piece of shit, and then you end up going back to the dude you were lying about anyway. So why didn't you just save him the trouble and fucking end it and go back to your lover boy as soon as you saw him? You're like, baby, you took my virginity and tickled my butthole when I was 16 while daddy beat you after he found us in bed together. I never want to have you away from me again. And then leave the hot neurosurgeon, because he's very hot. Now, so is the other guy. They're both very hot. Maybe a three-way scenario would have been better. But anyway, that's my thoughts. She's the villain. And the movie sucked for the most part, but I expected it to suck, so that was fine. Anyway, we appreciate you guys sensibly. I hope you liked the video. I'm going to share it to you. Hey, girl, this one's for you, baby. You better study. You better pass that test. And yeah, like, subscribe, join the channel. We appreciate all of our fans here. You guys are the best. Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live show. Until then, word to your mother. Hood Noob is out.